Darral,
What's up, buddy?
thank you for being here, man.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely, man. This has been a while coming. I know we started talking about it last year now,
Yeah,
and so I'm glad to have you here. How was the trip been?
it was good. I just lived down the road, so it made it easy.
Good.
But I've just been thinking about how we met,
I know.
and how God brings people together. So we'll talk more about that later, but I appreciate the opportunity, man.
Yeah, man. Absolutely. What's new?
Not much. Just kind of glad the holidays are over. I love celebrating Jesus' birthday, but you
Absolutely.
know what I mean? Well, now I can start to grow my wallet a little bit, but
Man, I'm telling you, dude. It was. I was ready to send the kids back to school. It was a break,
Yeah.
man. I was like,
all mine did was sleep. That's all she did. So she slept like till 1, 2 o'clock every day. So I didn't even see her.
we had one of ours did that, but she was always going, man. I want to go here, there, the third. So.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I was like, I was out of routine.
Yeah, it
You
does
know.
get you out.
Yeah.
for
So,
sure.
so now that they're back in school, I'm like, all right,
There you go.
kind of a normal routine, man.
Right. That's cool.
Yeah, man. But I wanted to have you here, man. I wanted to talk about life. We've both been in some hairy situations,
Yeah, for sure.
and God's brought us out of a sticky mess, man.
Yeah.
Most don't make it out.
No.
This episode I want to call the 2 percenters.
Okay. Sounds good.
Yeah, man. But if you don't mind, what was life like growing up?
Dude, I had one of those, what you would call like most people thought a perfect childhood. I had, but 2 hardworking parents that were married the whole time. I was always playing sports. I had a younger brother, who's 4 years younger than me. And we were just always in athletics. We played all 3 sports, football, baseball, basketball, all the way until I think both of us quit our sophomore year of basketball.
Okay.
But it's just, my dad retired from Campbell Soup. My mom retired from a small factory in Grable that made, so they were both blue collar. They're both from southern West Virginia, the coal
Okay.
mining area. So they just had that work ethic.
Yeah.
Grew up in Paulding, a little addition called Emerald Acres.
Okay.
And man, I had one of the best childhoods. I ain't gonna lie. We had so many friends that lived out there. So we were constantly playing football, basketball, breaking
Man.
each other's bones. It was just great. And then, my dad, he did have an issue with some alcohol. He liked his moonshine, and he had a gambling addiction.
Okay.
But other than that, man, it was a pretty normal. Everybody thought Leave It to Beaver style childhood.
Yeah.
But, as far as, let's talk about the 2 percenters and how addiction starts. For me, I started drinking at an early age.
Okay.
I had a lot of older cousins that liked to party. And back then, I'm 50. So, you're talking late 80s, early 90s.
Mhm.
There wasn't a whole lot of hard drugs around at that time.
Yeah.
There was a lot of weed. I had some cousins that were doing a little bit of coke here and there, but mainly just weed and
Yeah.
alcohol. And I didn't even start smoking weed till I was very into my senior year.
Yeah.
I had a lot of scholarship offers for baseball.
Wow.
But I developed a rare sleeping disorder my sophomore year that would cause me to go into like a coma.
No way.
Yeah, for like longest one I had, bro, was 21 days.
Stop.
I would literally I could be sitting here talking to you, and then all of a sudden I get real tired. You wouldn't be able to notice because I'd still be able to talk. It was called Klein-Levin syndrome.
Wow.
It took first one I had was the summer of my sophomore year. And, so that was my dream, my goal. I always wanted to go to college. If I didn't make it professional level, I wanted to be a teacher and coach football.
Yeah.
Well, when I developed that sleeping disorder, it kind of put a damper on things. I had big schools calling me for baseball. But anyways, what happened was, since I had that disorder, mom didn't want me to leave, didn't want me to go anywhere. So I stayed home, and I quit drinking I started drinking at an early age, like probably around 12,
Oh,
13.
wow.
Yeah. And we partied a lot. We had some good times.
Now, I don't mean to stop
No,
you there,
you're good.
but I feel like Northwest Ohio has that culture
Yeah.
of there's a lot of drinking,
Yep.
parties
Yep.
at a young age.
Yeah.
I've noticed that. You said 12?
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, I had my one cousin moved in. He was 18, and he would have parties all the time. And
Okay, that makes sense.
And I was just always around. I was their designated driver when I was 14.
Oh man. So they took advantage of you.
Yeah, yeah. And the bad part is I'd be drinking too. But back then, it was different. The cops weren't like they are now, which I'm glad they are the way they are now. We got away with a lot of stuff back then. And it was just, that was just what we did, and even being an athlete, our coaches knew, they just told us, don't get in trouble, don't get caught.
Don't get caught.
Yeah. And I remember there was a time, I think it's going to my senior year of football. Me and my best friend at the time, we were out partying, and he played running back and linebacker with me, and it's like 3 a.m. We had to be at the weight room at 8.
Oh man, I was
he looks at me, he's like, dude, what are we gonna do? I was like, let's just go to the weight room and pass out. So we did, and our coach woke us up. We went in. We never missed a workout. Our coach still talks about it to this day. But that was my childhood, man. And then a lot of close friends. But the way I rolled into my addiction was, like I said, I didn't get to go to college right out of high school. Mm-hmm. And then I quit drinking for a couple of years, and I was coaching junior high football. Loved it. And then finally, I slowly progressed of growing out of those sleeping disorders. Okay. So I talked to my mom one day. I said, hey, I think I want to go to college. Yeah. But the crazy part was I was so in love with football. And I was recruited for football too, but all smaller schools, because I wasn't that big at the time.
Okay.
And I said, I'm going to find a school to go to, and I'm going to walk on the football team because I wanted to be a football coach, all that.
Yeah.
So I picked Wilmington, which is down small Division III school. They used to be in Defiance's conference, Wilmington Quakers. We went down there, met the coach, and the coincidence was the reason I fell in love with it was their head coach used to be an assistant coach at West Virginia University.
Okay.
My family being from down there, we always rooted for them. But anyways, so I chose that. I enrolled in the winter quarter, started working out with the team. At the time, it was crazy. I was pretty strong. Our first workout, I was the 13th strongest guy in the team out of like 85 guys.
Oh, wow.
And so I was pumped. Well, then long story short, my mom decides to leave my dad.
Oh, man.
And
sorry to hear that.
Yeah. So I knew about it before anybody else. She'd call me because she's still my best friend to this day. But she called me like on a Friday, and she's like, it was one of them things where it probably should have happened years ago.
Yeah.
She held on for the kids, and anyways, so I found out they were getting divorced. And I was worried about my dad, because like I said, he had a drinking problem and stuff, and I thought he was going to do some crazy things. So I quit college and moved home and never went back.
Wow.
And then Dad did pretty well for a while. He did pretty bad for a while. But what was crazy, going along with our story, is he ended up getting saved.
Oh,
and
awesome.
he had only been in church twice his whole life. Like once when his mom's funeral, and then my cousin got married and his mom had passed away. So he asked my mom to light his candle. So my dad, it was the second time he ever went to church. And when he hit it, man, it reminds me of the way I am now. And I didn't know nothing about the Bible or I knew about Jesus, but I didn't know nothing about God. Dad just turned into a straight holy roller. It freaked me out. So he was going to church every Sunday and always had his Bible out. And I'm like, man, who's this guy? And now it all makes sense, and he went to church for a while, but then he kind of fell out, but he still believed, still prayed, he just got tired of church. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And some of the people there. So he still kept his faith till the day he died. But then the way I rolled into my addiction, one of my best friends, my cousin Craig, died of Lou Gehrig's disease. Well, 2 years before that, my best friend Shane, we were like three amigos, got killed on his Harley.
Oh my God.
In 2002. And I was selling cars before that. And, I had a mutual friend that was a pretty big dealer of coke and stuff. And I didn't even start really dabbling with coke until my early 20s. And I took over at a local dealership as a used car manager. And he just came up to me one day and he said, hey, since you're the used car manager now, can I bum a car every once in a while when I make my runs? And I'm like, he just ran to like Chicago and South Bend, places like that. I'm like, yeah, that's cool. I didn't know what he was doing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So he started paying me with ounces of coke.
Oh man!
So I'm like, what do I do with this?
Wow.
Yes,
wow.
Yeah. So that's when it all started, man. And then I stole to some guys that I worked with, and I just developed a little customer base here and there to pay for my own habit. And man, I did coke for 20 some years, bro.
Wow.
But where it really got bad when I was talking about Shane dying, and then a week after Shane died on his Harley, my cousin Craig comes to me and says, "Hey, you need to sit down." And I'm like, "Okay." He's like, "I got Lou Gehrig's disease."
Oh no.
Dr. Miller said I'll be dead in 2 days or 2 years. And I was like, all of a sudden it just hit me. Shane died July 11th of 02. Craig died July 12th, almost exactly 2 years. So,
oh my God,
04.
bro.
Yeah.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Then after that, man, that's when, it's the way I coped. I got really heavy into the coke. But then I kind of settled down. I stayed in the car business for a while. I was in and out of jobs. Had my first kid in 99, and that's still,
Okay.
and me and her mom were together for like 8 years. And she had no clue that I was doing stuff like
Wow.
that. I was what you call a functional
Addict, yeah.
hidden addict. Yeah. And, I always had a decent job, always had a nice place. I was never flashy. I wasn't a big time dealer or nothing. I just took care of some buddies, enough, like I said, enough to take care of my habit.
Yeah.
And then when I got a little bit older, well, I'm going to be honest, man. You said we need to be raw. The coke around here got so bad you couldn't even get high off of it.
Wow.
So I think that's one of the reasons why a lot of people switched to meth.
Okay.
And that's what I did. Probably 8-9 years ago. I did it for almost 3 years. And then, luckily an ex-girlfriend of mine set me up on a buy, and I wasn't even really selling it, but she called me up and said, and I was actually just took a job coaching football down by Dayton with another buddy.
Oh man.
Was playing. Me and him just looked at the house, planned on moving. I was still using, but not as. I was just trying to get off of it. You know how it is.
Yeah, absolutely.
You can't just quit that stuff, man.
Yeah.
So, but I was doing good. Like I was staying away from the people. I hadn't seen her for like 6 months, and all of a sudden she calls me out of the blue. "Hey, can you help me get some dope?" And I'm like, "Nah." I was like, "I'm not messing with that no more." I told her, and then the way she got me was. And this is a girl I trusted with my life. Man. Like
wow.
She had my key code to my garage, everything,
oh, bro.
And she had been in prison before, you know, and so it was just one of them ride or die things. You would never think she'd do something like this, but what happened was she had a baby in March and lost it, and her sister got because she was addicted. Her sister got custody,
dude.
Well, I didn't know how she was doing. Like I said, I hadn't seen her in 6 months. So she asked me, she said, "Hey, can you give me some dope?" I'm like, "Nah," I said, "I'm not messing with it no more." And then, she called a couple more times and she said, "I just need to make a little bit of money so I can get a lawyer to get custody of my kid back." And I was like, "All right, I got you." I literally ran to my dealer's house, grabbed a couple 8-balls, met her at a golf course, and she wore a body kit. And I handed her an envelope like this and got an 18-month prison sentence out of it.
No.
Yeah. And then, but here's the crazy part. Like I said, when I was younger, I was kind of involved with my aunt and uncle would take me to church, but I was never a big believer. Didn't understand the Bible.
Yeah.
My youngest daughter's mom, who went through addiction with me, went through drug court, all that stuff. When I got out of prison, before I went to prison, I'm sorry. I'd just gotten arrested and got bonded out. And it was right before COVID. So everything was crazy.
Oh my God.
Your cases got delayed and blah, blah, blah. She introduced me to Experience Church.
Okay.
In Defiance. And, I went there. It was like the first or second week of January in 2020. So, and like I said, I'm still fighting my case.
Yeah.
Walked in that place and the first message was about Justina did it, Pastor Justina, and it was about, forgiveness. Okay. She talked about the verse in Matthew, crack in your eye and all. And dude, it just hit me because me and my brother weren't talking at the time. And I just fell in. I'm like, and did the Connect Track card.
Yeah. I
don't even remember. First person they introduced me to was Nick Salinas. I don't know if you know Nick yet, but Nick
Yes.
Nick is my dude. I haven't seen him in a while, but shout out to Nick. He was he just had his 10-year sobriety.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
You know what? Maybe I did see that online.
Yep. He just had his 10-year, but we met and man, we just clicked. And he told me his story, kind of like what me and you did at church.
Yeah.
He told me his story, and he was running a My Brother's Keeper small group out at the Dream Center.
Okay.
Invited me to.
Hey guys, here's a quick message from one of our affiliates. Do you ever feel there's seasons where you're stretched thin, carrying responsibility, leading conversations, trying to build well, but realize you can't keep pouring out without being intentional about getting refilled? I know a lot of you listening right now have felt that same way. I found that Wellspring Legacy Group isn't just about motivation. It's about alignment through their coaching, consulting, and retreats. They help you slow down, get clear, and make sure the foundation of what you're building is healthy, not just productive. That's why I trust Wellspring Legacy Group. It's not about fixing something broken. It's about staying rooted, restored, and aligned, so the work actually lasts. If this resonates with you, connect with Wellspring Legacy Group. And when you do, use code DailyChop to take that next step forward.
It was January. What happened with my case was my first lawyer fired me because I want to take a trial. Didn't give me no money back, nothing. You know, he said I'm too old to go to trial, and I would have won, but I'm glad I didn't. You know, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Because I probably would have went back to using. I needed what happened to me. I needed.
Okay.
I needed to go away. And I embarrassed my family. I had to spend a whole year away from them without seeing them because of COVID. If I would have won my case, probably would have got cocky and just went right back to partying, even though I was involved with the church. Who knows? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But what happened was he fired me, so I had to get a new lawyer. So that kind of stretched things out. And finally, you know, usually, I don't know if you've been involved in law or not, you usually know your sentence before you go in front of the judge.
Okay.
And my thing was, I had two cases. I had two charges in two different counties. Same girl, same thing.
No.
Yeah. Putnam County and Paulding. They were supposed to run everything together. Well, COVID messed everything up. So I go to Putnam County first, and they had evidence of me with the video, everything. And the judge knew who my informant was. She was the worst possible informant you could have, dude, according to the law. You know what I mean? She was still getting high. She was been a junkie most of her life. So anyways, they asked me, I get there and the judge says, Mr. Egnor, what happened? I told him what I just told you. I ran to my dealer, came back. He kind of looked at me. He's like, wow. And he looked at the prosecutor and he goes, "This is your understanding, Mr. Lammers?" And he's like, Lammers kind of was embarrassed. He's like, yeah. He goes, wow. He leans back in his chair and he goes, I'll tell you what, Mr. Egnor. And I told him I was going to church, doing all this stuff. He goes, I'm going to do something I don't do very often. I'll give you a choice. You want 6 months in county or you want to do four months in a worst center? I'm like, worst centers, run it, you know?
Yeah.
So that was like at the end of May. So I was scheduled to go to the worst center on July 3rd or June 3rd. I'm sorry. And June 2nd was my court date for Paulding.
Okay.
So I figured they were just going to run it all with me, you know? And I'm not going to lie when I say this, and I hope my judge watches this. I've never actually had a chance to talk to her about it, but her and I are really tight. They didn't have squat for evidence on me except for me telling on myself.
Wow.
They had no physical like what Putnam had. And the prosecutor had never liked me before because that's a different story. But they tried giving me 4 years. That's when my lawyer fired me. I laughed at him. That's my first charge. You know, I was like, I'm not taking that. So anyways, long story short, that was what happened was they told me my lawyer said, we can let the judge make the decision on your sentencing. So that's what we did. So I didn't know what I was getting until I walked in that courtroom. What? And Judge Beckman looked at me and she's like, Darral, I was going to give you, and mind you, she was my lawyer the last time I got in trouble. And we went to school together. She's always known me. Great, great woman. We'll talk more about her later, but she looks at me. She goes, I'm not going to lie to you. She goes, I was going to give you 36 months. Oh, but she goes, I'm going to give you 18. I had to give you a chance to file for judicial as soon as you get there. So I did. I go back to county, call my dad. He's like, what happened? And I tell him. And so I get 18-month sentence. But, you know, she made it sound like I'd get out right away by filing for judicial.
Yeah. And
the lawyer I had it was by that time I was out of money, so he was court appointed. Nothing against them, but he didn't work hard for me either.
Right.
So as soon as I get there, he files my judicial. Didn't hear nothing. I was sat at CRC for 2 months. Finally, they sent me my home prison. But I was just like, didn't care.
Yeah.
You know, I had such a peace. Cause I just got tired of fighting. I just gave everything to God. I'm just like, you know, he's going to lead me the right way. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
And when I went to prison, not at CRC because we were locked down there because of COVID and stuff. But But once we got to our home prison, it kind of opened up a little bit more. And we started, me and a couple buddies that I met there, started a Bible study. And
Awesome.
we did it 2 or 3 nights a week. And we grew from 3 to 25 guys.
Okay.
And one night, the warden's assistant walked in. She's like, "Hey, who's in charge of this?" And one of our dudes was like, "Jesus." and she kind of laughed, and she goes, "No, seriously." And I was like, "I am." But they shut us down.
No way.
They called it gang related.
Stop.
Yeah, bro, it was crazy. And because we had so many guys in there. And that was when I seen the power of the Lord and the power of the devil.
Wow.
Because I had no idea, this is, like I said, this is all new to me. I'm still less than a year in. And a lot of them guys, they've been there for years. Some of the guys been there 20, 25 years.
Yeah.
And they went right back to fighting, right back to doing drugs.
Wow.
Drinking alcohol. People that don't know anything about the prison system, you get more drugs and alcohol than you do on the street.
I believe it.
It's sad. It's sad. But yeah, it was crazy, man. But me and my few guys still tried to stay together.
Wow.
And then not even, it was probably 3 weeks after I got to my home prison, I get a call, my dad died.
Oh, man, I'm sorry to hear that.
That hurt. But I was expecting it because he had a real bad skin cancer. I knew that they'd put him in a nursing home. But just getting that call, and I couldn't, I'm locked up. I can't go. I've been to hundreds of funerals, bro. I couldn't go to my own dad's.
That's all.
So that hurt. And I could have easily went back to doing drugs and all that, but somehow, I know how, I kept my faith and it made me stronger.
Yeah,
and I got out. Judge let me out finally, not quite a year later, in March or April. And she was going to send me to the work center. And I'm like, no, that don't make no sense. I've been clean for 2.5 years.
Yeah.
Plus I hadn't seen my family. So I asked my lawyer if I could volunteer for drug court. And I knew that I would like drug. Well, plus I wanted some accountability.
Yeah.
I needed something.
Sure.
So she granted it to me. She goes, "I think you'll be a good person to help with some of these people I've got in there."
Mm-hmm.
And man, I rolled. I loved it.
Awesome.
Most people just go through the motions, but I learned so much. I had great counselors. The judge was amazing. Did the whole year program.
Okay.
Never missed a meeting. Never failed a drug test. All that. And graduated almost exactly a year later. And
wow,
a lot of times you get
God.
sanctioned. Yeah. A lot of times and the great part is, man, I bet at one time I had 15, 16 people going to our church. I don't see them anymore, but I was doing my job. I was planting my seeds. And in the meantime, me and Jeff Beam started our podcast called Resurrection Recovery. And that became really popular.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Man.
But other than that, but when I got out, I joined drug court but I was at Nick's Saturday meeting I got out Friday. I was at the, My Brother's Keeper meeting that Saturday. That's when me and Ryan got really close, and then he passed away a few months later, and that hurt. But then me and Jeff started that thing.
Yeah.
Matt Leatherman became my life coach.
Okay.
I completed that program. And then I just dug in. I started leading small groups. Me and Pastor Kyle are close. His story is very similar to ours.
Yeah.
I share my story everywhere I go, man. And,
praise God.
And that's the thing is it's just like how me and you talk.
Yeah.
I've done that with 2 different people at 2 different jobs I've had. We're still close to this day. But, I just jumped back in, got the fire back. I've led probably 5 or 6 small groups. I've probably been in 15.
That's awesome.
20. So, but yeah, sorry. I told you I'd ramble a little bit, man. But
no, that's all right.
That's, I think I got everything, bro. I'm pretty impressed with myself. Usually I'm getting old, I forget. But
no, you're good, man. But a lot of that, it resonates with me because I had to go through a point too where I really had to just crash and hit rock bottom, man. Yeah. And for me, that was experiencing a death. My kids, their mom passed away.
Yeah, you told me about that.
Yeah,
you told me about
that. I had got out of the army and was trying to better my life, and
sure.
She was into opiates, and one thing led to another, and when I was training, I was going to school for to be a firefighter, And I just got sucked into it, man. And I didn't think I ever would. Man, I'd never touch that.
That's the thing. I tell people all the time, drugs don't discriminate.
Dude,
that's why, I get frustrated when you see people talking smack, about addicts. And I'm like, I could easily be your kid. I could be your brother.
Yeah.
Actually, a good one right now, the girl I'm dating right now is did you meet her that day? She was there. But anyway, she served 10 years in the Army.
Oh, wow.
She don't drink. She drank a few times in her life. She's never done any drugs, never smoked weed, nothing.
Wow.
But her brother's
awesome.
Her brother's in active addiction right now, and she just don't understand it. She's like, I don't get it. And I was like, whoa. I was like, the only thing you can do is just hope for the best. And I tell people that that's not the person that they are. Especially, some people go off the deep end.
Oh yeah.
She don't get it because he's done some pretty bad things. And she's the whole forgiveness thing isn't there yet, but we'll dig into that some other time. Yeah, man, it's tough,
It's
and now
tough,
did you get addicted to opiates, or was you?
No, I honestly,
you were like me, you were the speed runner.
Yeah, that was it, man. That was it. The adrenaline.
I hated opiates, bro. Yeah, I did. I just hate not having control of myself.
Yeah. No, I couldn't. I could never. And then coming home with adrenaline addiction.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Just let's go.
It's funny you say that because one of my counselors, when I was going through drug court, she told me, and I never thought about this before either. And one of my exes had brought it up too. Her and I are still good friends. She said, but my counselor was like, you don't think about it, but she's like, a lot of you guys are just addicted to dopamine.
Yeah, that's it.
And I was like, wow, I never even thought about that. I don't know, not to get too deep, but it goes with sex, all that stuff.
Everything.
I had a bad sex porn addiction when I was young. But it all made sense. I'm like, and then this is what really got me. She said, your normal dopamine levels when you're not doing anything throughout the day are 80 to 100.
Yeah.
You'll do coke, it goes up to about 300.
Mm-hmm.
You do meth, it goes up to 1,000.
1,000, bro. I think I heard 1,600 was the one I got, and then and the other fact I could be wrong. Don't quote me on this, but I do believe it takes like almost 2 years for our dopamine levels to come back to normal.
I don't know the exact. I wish I could talk to her. I mean, I still keep in touch occasionally, but she told me something that was exactly what she said. Yeah. Your whole brain level, once you quit off of the hard drugs, is exactly 2 years. And she gave me a 6-month calendar. And when she went through it, I was like, man, that's exactly what I did. Like the first 6 months after I got clean because I got arrested.
Yeah.
Excuse me. And, you're angry. Everybody else's fault.
Uh-huh.
And when she went through that little 2-year calendar, I was like, that's exactly what I did. Like that's the truth, man. It's the hard truth.
And you know what? I would say, I would imagine it was maybe a step easier for us because we was put into a position, right? Where someone who's not put into a position, the Lord. And I know exactly what you're talking about because when you said just like you said, you don't want to be there.
Right.
And I would sit in the basement, man, and I would just cry. I'd be like, Lord, like, I don't want to be this way. Like,
how many times did you think suicidal thoughts? And
bro, like, yeah, they'd be like, you're a monster. Why are you such a monster? And I'm like, who wants to be called a monster and to feel like, man, am I a monster?
Yeah.
And so, that's like some of the thoughts that I would have too, especially as a veteran. You come home and we have just, for us, we have to regulate ourselves and learn how to control ourselves again. It's easy for us to flip a switch and get mad, And so that was one thing that I struggled with. I really had to learn was, how to control my anger in it.
Sure.
Cause it was awful, man.
Oh,
and we would, we would fight like cats and dogs, bro. It was completely, I was toxic, man. I was super toxic.
Yeah. Thank you for your service again, by the way.
I appreciate that
before, but I love all you veterans. But I when you said that, I just remember a day I saw my baby's mom was keeping my daughter from me, and she was going through addiction at the same time. But she would do some pretty harsh things to me, keep my kid from me.
Yeah,
your kids are your life.
Absolutely.
And I remember laying on my kitchen floor, just want to die, and just thinking about this, but I couldn't do it because of my kids.
Yeah.
And because of my mom. My mom's my backbone. But just those thoughts, I'm like, wow, I was even at that level.
Man.
But people don't understand the things you think about, the things you go through. And the thing with me, like I said, I was a closet functioning addict.
Yeah, absolutely. Me too.
99% of my friends and family had no idea I was even doing meth.
Same.
Until I got busted. And they made me look like Nino Brown, bro. They had me all over the news. They had me all over the newspapers. It was crazy.
Man, dude.
For 2 8-balls.
Wow.
Yeah. If people don't know what 2 8-balls is, like 2 sugar packets. Not one of them big kilo things, It's like 2 little sugar packets,
Yeah,
but
dude.
it was crazy. But like I said, it was everything I needed, But
yeah. And
the whole dopamine thing, man, it's real.
It's real. It's real. And it's the part that's hard is we don't understand how everybody's coping.
Yeah.
And I love what you said, who you are when you're an addict is not who you're going to be when you're the next day.
Yep.
When you're sobered up the next day, it doesn't make you the same person.
Exactly.
And it's hard because people, I was that way once too, before I started and before I didn't understand that because I never really had been addicted to anything.
Yeah. Didn't understand.
No.
You talk smack about people.
I would. I'd be like, man, that's not a disease.
What a loser, what a junkie, all that.
Yeah. And then you go through it and you're like, and then you realize like, man, I had to really hit rock bottom to realize,
Yeah. It's, and my thing, and I think you're the same way. Like I love sharing my story. I'm not embarrassed one bit because I know I'm saving some people's lives, and I have saved a lot of people's lives.
Man.
And when I first started doing this and trying to help people, I was still rolling through drug court. And my counselors told me, they're like, Darral, you can't save the world. Because I would get so stressed out, like, man, why is this guy doing this? Why won't he listen to me?
Mm-hmm.
And once I learned to cope on how to deal with the ones that really want to help, then that took a lot of stress off of me. Because still to this day, even though I'm not doing the podcast, everybody knows what I do. I still got my haters. I still got people that want me to fail. I don't let none of that bothers me. That's life. That's all people are. There's some shady people all over this world. And it kind of motivates me, but I've always been the type of dude, like, I don't care what you think anyways. All I care about is what my family thinks.
Right.
But I'm a lover. And if you show me love back, I'm going to help you any way I can. I've had former teachers I didn't even like, bro, reach out to me to try and help their kids. I've had people from church. I've helped people there. I've ran small groups on addiction. I led some things in Paulding. There's a group called Power to Change. There's a great group over there that helps people in drug court, and it's all awesome. Addiction based, and it goes from any type of addiction, like it could be food, whatever.
Yeah.
But I still have my phone all the time, man. People reached out, but I've gotten to the point where it's good for me and it's good for them too. Is I'm more raw and I'm more harsh.
Yeah.
I tell them what they need to hear. I'm not going to tell them what they want to hear.
Right.
And some guys don't like that. And I the ones I know that aren't going to give me their time, I pray for them.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And I just had a buddy, recently who was giving me everything. He was going to the gym with me. He quit. He was on meth and coke. Has a great job, about to lose it all, bro.
Wow.
He reached out. He's like, man, I need help. So I took him under my wing. And then he started hanging out with the people. Dude, I cried. Like, I found out he was with someone this one night. I'm sitting at the Amphets watching a live band, and somebody texted me and told me who he was with. And I just started crying. Like, man, if he just knew how good life is right now.
Yeah.
He was even going to church, man. This dude hadn't been to church in years. He came a few times, but you can't save the world,
It's not for us, I've learned that God doesn't call us to save anyone. He calls us to be available to surrender to him. And when we do that, he'll do the changing.
Yeah. I just had a buddy on my way here who reached out to me probably 8 months to a year ago, struggling with alcohol and stuff, and wanted me to go to church with me. Mm-hmm. I picked him up. It was right down the road. Picked him up. I haven't seen him since. And he's on there and he's complaining about his life, how miserable he hates stuff. I said, hey, all I commented was, I'm still at church on Sunday. Let me know if you want to pick you up. That's it. That's what we're here for, is to plant the seeds and
Amen,
try to lead
dude.
by example. And I'm going to sit here and act like I'm completely sober, because I do drink occasionally.
Yeah, no.
And I'm actually fasting alcohol for a 21-day fast,
Awesome, man. Yeah.
but
Yeah.
like I always tell people, when it comes to addiction, and I don't know if you've ever got involved with NA or AA, the very first step is when your life becomes unmanageable.
Yeah.
So like I'm the type of dude where if say you're a bad heroin addict, but if you smoke a joint that helps you get off the heroin, I'm all for it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And you got a job, you're going to work. Some people are just, nope, you can't be doing that. And I'm like, it's like Suboxone,
Yeah, absolutely. And that brings me to a good point that I want to talk about is Ibogaine. Have you heard of Ibogaine?
Rogan talked about it.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's been a while, but yeah, refresh me.
Okay. So, I have been studying a lot on it because of veterans, and there has been, thousands of veterans that's gone to Mexico to do this treatment. And not only is it helping veterans, with PTSD and traumatic brain injuries, it's also helping, addicts, from heroin to amphetamines, I'm sure even alcoholism. But what they say is they're having a 97%, positive cure rate using this, where it's a Schedule 3 drug. It's classified as a Schedule 3 drug, so you can't even practice on it here in America.
Yeah, we're so dumb,
man. So they're going down to Mexico and they're doing this, and people, they are having an amazing response to where the white matter on their brain is like doubling, growing back, and having no symptoms of, not even taste for their addiction.
Wow.
Isn't that awesome?
Yeah. It's kind of like the same type of thing, the mushrooms and stuff.
Yeah.
Microdosing of mushrooms.
Yeah.
And what's the other one? Not really acid, but psilocybin is mushrooms.
Psilocybin. Yeah. I think
they're getting the same kind of results with that.
Yeah, they are.
I'm like, and the way I look at a lot of those things, and I've always said this, is like, those are God's medicines, but we've taken them away.
Now, the one thing I want to say is I'm not condoning anybody to go out and go buy some magic shrooms and take it. No. And especially
listen to a professional.
Yeah. No, absolutely. The Ibogaine is very dangerous. Mm-hmm. It has to be emplaced with certain other things, magnesium and other minerals, because if not,
process behind it.
You'll go into
start tripping, will you?
No, you'll die. It'll stop your heart.
Really?
It'll put you into like an arrhythmia and cause the heart to stop.
Yeah.
So it's very dangerous. So I'm not condoning anybody to go do this on their own. I'm just saying, if the studies, I think Texas, Governor Abbott just signed a law so they can start practicing on it in Texas.
Nice.
So we are getting the studies here in America. It's just taking, taking some time.
A while. Yep. It's taking a while. It's just like with the, mushroom thing. You hear a lot of good things about that too.
Yeah.
Microdosing, the same type of situation, guys like yourself with PTSD and even addictions,
I think the VA actually started allowing testing on mushrooms.
Nice.
But of course, obviously it's all done in a lab, doctors. So it's not just, I don't know the process of it, I'm sure, but
well, it's one of them things, man, where you know how it is. The big corporations and, the FDA, they make so much money. Don't get me started on pharmaceuticals.
Right.
Look at the commercials. When you watch a commercial, it's a 30-second commercial, and 25 seconds is the things that's bad for you. It might cure it might help you with your diabetes or your hair loss, but you could have a heart attack. All this other stuff,
the side effects, and I'm like, man, and I'm not saying anything right because I ain't trying to catch a lawsuit, but I completely understand. Absolutely. For me, the one thing that I didn't like was the medicines they gave me when I came home. I would take them and I would feel like a zombie.
Mm-hmm.
I specifically remember this one time I was sitting in the living room and I just felt like I couldn't move. And the TV was on for about 4 hours and I couldn't tell you what was on that TV. I was just stuck in the couch. A zombie. It's not, for a father, that's not what they need.
Yeah, exactly.
A father coming home, especially when you've been apart from your family and now you need to reconnect. The last thing you need to do is, be sitting on the couch looking like a zombie,
Right.
out of your mind and a comatose. Where do children get their identity from?
Right.
Their father. And that's what we need to replace, back in the home.
Yeah.
Is fathers, man. And
yep, that's for sure.
That's not doing it.
When Pastor Kyle goes through the statistics about what is 87% of the guys in prison never had a father, it's just crazy some of the stuff they go through. But the thing is, our country and our medical field, it's turned into just a huge money-making $1 trillion business because they make more money by giving you a pill. They want you to come back. They want you to be a customer.
Oh yeah.
They don't try to cure you, know. So that's why a lot of these things like the Ibogaine, it's you got these big dogs, and you know how it is. People come up missing.
Absolutely, yeah.
Because I'm surprised RFK Jr. is still alive.
Oh man, absolutely.
I mean,
look at Trump, man. He's already had 2 assassination Trump,
right.
times.
It's crazy, man. Well, we're just so brainwashed,
Yeah.
It's just like when you go back with the weed thing, the way that started.
Oh yeah.
Even Coke, they used to put that in
Coca-Cola. Yeah. It was a medicine at one point.
Right. And then all of a sudden it became really bad for some reason. Especially the weed. The weed's the one against me. Never killed anybody. No, nobody's ever, it can ruin your life.
It can ruin your life.
Absolutely.
Yeah. But now I'm going to be honest. That was one thing that helped me with my PTSD when I first came home, man.
Absolutely.
Was using medical marijuana. It helped. It helped keep the mind calm, right? It was hard for me to get mad, but that was the easiest thing I would do was get mad.
Yeah.
But, in that I actually begin to realize my problem, from my anger was that I had so much, unforgiveness, bitterness, and hate in my heart that, it literally spread to everybody around me.
Yeah.
And, the Bible speaks on that, man.
Mm-hmm.
And Jesus is telling a parable, on that. And he talks about the servant that was in debt to the master, and the master was going to sell his family, his kids, and, his wife and himself and for the money he owed. Mm-hmm. But then the servant was asking for forgiveness, forgave him, but then turned around and went and put hands on a man for lesser money.
Yeah.
And when word got back to the master, and what's he tell him? He says, for that, I'm going to deliver you to the tormentors. And that was it. When I had no forgiveness, bro, I was tormented, and I was the only one tormenting myself.
I know. That's the way it is, man. That's crazy. The way it is. It just takes over your whole life.
It does. It does.
And you don't even, like I was saying earlier, don't even think right.
No.
You do dumb stuff. But, the thing is once you dig in, I always tell people my life changed the most because even like I said, like the first 6 months, it was my lawyer's fault. It was I did it. You know what I mean? Like I did it as like it was the lawyer's fault, judge's fault, everybody else. But once my brain slowly started coming back, and I realized once you take accountability for your stuff, it's when your life's going to change.
Right.
And I still got people I deal with who angry, and I'm like, man, if you could just swallow that and quit blaming it on your ex-wife or the cops, whatever, dude. You got busted for a reason. Yeah, it might have been a shady reason, but you got busted.
Yeah,
you did something. Once you can forgive yourself and get past that accountability thing, and just put it all on you, your life changes forever, man. It's just like me with everything right now. Even my kids are kind of. I got 3 beautiful daughters. My oldest is about to be 27. My middle one's going to be 21, and my youngest is going to be 12. And I got 3 grandkids. My life's great right now.
Awesome,
I've always been a good father, for the most part.
Yeah.
But when I go back and look at some of the things I did, and they tell you the same thing.
Yeah, sure.
It's not what you would call normal, but I was always tried to be there for them. Took care. Always had a nice place to live.
Yeah. We're all learning.
Yeah, exactly. And I think my oldest was the only one that really knew. She's pretty smart. She knew something was going on with her dad.
Right.
But the other one, I just kind of hit it for the whole time,
Yeah.
But it's crazy. But yeah, once you can take accountability for your stuff, that's when you can change your life.
I like to call that extreme ownership.
Yeah.
And that's something that's missing completely is extreme ownership. And the military talks about that a lot. Because it makes better leaders,
Right.
And that's what we are as men.
Yep.
We're the leaders. We're the leaders of our home. That's why we get our identity from our fathers.
Yeah.
And when we're able to take extreme ownership, there's nothing we know, right? Even if we have a team and the team fails, right? We're still part of that team. Still, as the leader, as the team leader.
Yeah.
I gotta check myself. Was there something I could have done more to have better success with our team?
Yeah.
I can't just put the blame on them. I was the one leading them.
Yep.
And that's the same for us, man.
Yeah. I think that made me think of something I've been dealing with, and it's something else that we do as men is a lot of times we just hide our feelings.
Yeah.
Or we keep everything in.
Oh, yeah.
That's a huge problem.
Mm-hmm.
And, it's we're especially my generation, my dad's generation, that's just how you're raised. You're not supposed to cry.
Yeah.
And I think we're slowly starting to overcome that. But just in the last few years, that's been a huge change in my life too. It's just being able to be vulnerable and open up to somebody, like talk, even if it's a therapist, your best friend, whoever it is. But once I've learned to do that, it changed me completely. And I still, even, with my girlfriend now, she'll know, how women are. They know when there's something wrong with you.
Oh yeah.
What's wrong, babe? Nothing. You're lying. Yeah, you're right.
No,
and you just don't want to talk about it. But with her, I've just been opening up more and talking, and man, our communication is just unreal. I told her the other day, I was like, we should start our own class. We've only been dating 6 months.
No, that's awesome.
You know what I mean? It's crazy how much that works.
Yeah. And sometimes, with me, with Natalie, man, she's just a blessing from the Lord.
Yeah.
Because she's the one that guided me back to the Lord, man.
Well, just that day that I met her at church and talked to her, I just got this energy from her. Like, you guys are perfect, and I could tell she was probably one of your saviors,
Yeah, dude.
And the way she shared your story with your ex-wife, I was just like, man, and that just kind of got me right there. I was like, wow, that's a cool couple right there.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. That was a very hard few years, man.
No,
and I was, bro, I was during that time when we first got together, man. She was like, Nat was like, look, whoa, stop, because I was in San Antonio and she was up here, and at that time, I was in the kitchen and I was rolling up right in front of the kids, and I'm blazing right in the kitchen with the kids in the living room,
Yeah.
It was awful. And
just
I was
stinking up the house.
Yeah. Yeah. And she's like, whoa, absolutely not. Like, so she really, when she led me back to Christ, man, she got me in check, put me in order, and was like, look, this is not how life's going to run. And so, man, I'm so thankful for her,
Absolutely.
man. She's, with her, she led me back to Christ and completely changed my life, man.
Love it.
Dude.
So how long you been? 2 years you've been going to experience?
Yeah. Well, let me see. Yeah. 2 years. Cause I moved up here, I want to say 2023. So
are you on the production team?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I
All
love
right.
it, man. It's fun. I'm glad I'm able to do that. I have
Do
a lot of
something
fun.
you love, right?
Yeah,
That's
dude.
cool. I've been on the usher team for 4 years, I think.
Really?
Yeah.
Awesome.
But I'm actually going to step down just for a few months, because Stacy has never really been involved, and she just started going to church with me a few weeks ago.
Okay.
And so I'd like to be able to sit with her and enjoy the services together. So I'm still going to be available when they need me, as far as part-time, but I'm just going to take a little break for a while. And we got some good new people. We're even getting some kids on the team.
Dude, I've seen that.
A lot of good teams there.
Yeah, we've had
a place to change my life for sure.
Absolutely.
It's just the thing about it is just the way Pastor Kyle is. He's so raw too.
Yeah.
And he's funny.
Dude, he has me cracking up
all the time, bro.
They both have me cracking up, man.
Some of the stuff he says. Oh man, I'll never forget. You weren't there yet. It's been a few years ago. Remember the old song Regulators?
Yeah.
He brought that into his sermon. He's like, "Where's all my regulators at?"
He's funny. He has me tripping out.
Yeah, and he obviously knows the word, and his life story too.
Yeah, I've heard it. I think I heard it one time. He talked about it a little bit in service, and Man, he's got
He
got
always
an awesome
talks about
story.
addiction. He always, almost every week he brings up, he used to be an addict. He was incarcerated for 3 years. That's when I walked into that place, I was just like, man, this is my new home. Like, I just felt, how it is sometimes you go to churches, like, especially some of the older, old school churches, you walk in, you're just kind of like, what, these people going to hug me? What are they going to do? There's like 20 people just staring at you. But there you just walk in, man, we got all walks of life.
Yeah.
I know people ask me when they go to church, what do I got to wear? Whatever you want, bro. Look, I see people come from the gym.
You know what I really
in
liked about it was when I went in there the first time is that during worship, the lights were kind of low. So I didn't feel like all eyes were on me.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? It was kind of darker. And then I was like, all right, it's settling here. And it kind of gave me that comfort feeling to be like, all right, I'm not ever, I'm not the sinner that just walked in and all eyes are on me.
Right.
And so, I loved that feeling. And now, man, I'm like, man, put me in the second row. And, first 5 minutes, I'm bawling my eyes out worshiping, dude. I'm like, crying.
It gets you.
It does, man. I love being filled up there, man. I love the worship team and the word. They both always bring great
there's just so many good, real people. I mean, and I'm sure you got the ones that go through their daily things. Or they show up on Sunday just to check their check mark. But when I'm talking raw, real Christians, there's a lot of good ones there.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'll get text messages out of the blue, and it's always, that's God's work. When you're down the dumps or something, next thing you get a text, hey bro, how you been?
Yeah.
Haven't heard from you. Like, oh man, I needed that,
Right.
It's got a lot of good new brothers and sisters.
No, absolutely. There is, man. I'm glad to be there. And I'm glad, they're growing, man. We're growing there. And that's good to hear.
Fast.
Yeah, dude.
Crazy. See, I started going there right after they moved into the mall. I think they'd only been open in the mall like 6 months.
Okay.
Something like that. So it was all moved in because I'm sure you probably know they used to be at the Y.
Yeah. That's what Natalie was telling
7 years.
That's what she said. She said they would tear down and set up and tear down like all the time. I was like, wow.
Yep.
Yeah, praise God for going through that, man. It takes some perseverance. It's a lot of work pouring out.
Sure.
And then to come and do it every week, man, that's obedience to the Lord.
Yeah. They've had a vision and it just keeps on growing.
That's awesome. Praise God, man. Now, do you still do any coaching for addiction or anything like that?
Oh yeah, man. And anytime anybody needs help, they can reach out.
Yeah.
I do everything only on a personal level. But I don't want to say every day, but at least once a week, I get somebody reach out.
That's awesome.
I'll help as much as I can.
Yeah.
And it's one of the things where you give me your effort, I'll give you mine.
Right.
Because like you said, we got families, I can't save the world, but it's always going to be on my heart, I think. And, like you were talking, like kind of how we met, we just started sharing our story. Like we literally, only reason I even talked to you was because Stacy was talking to one of her buddies that she hadn't seen in a while.
Yeah.
So me and you were just kind of standing there and talking to Matt. Matt's there, and you're just like, hey, what's up, man? And we just started talking. Next thing you know, we know each other's life story in 5 minutes.
Yeah.
But that's how it is, though.
Yeah.
I just feel like you get that certain person, like you guys share your story.
Man, dude.
And that's just the way I am.
That's the Lord, man. He, I know he makes connections, and he's been making connections for me that's just a blessing, like you.
Mm-hmm.
Matt.
Yep.
We got Carl, Joe, Karen. Now I'm working on another one, nice. Another lady. So hopefully we can get that one coming in. So this year's going to be wrapped up in some good conversations just like this, man. It's, and I want to say congratulations on being a 2%er, man. Because
6.5 years now.
That's awesome, bro.
Yeah,
I mean,
6.5 years.
5 years.
Are you?
Yeah,
nice.
5 years,
that's
man.
Awesome.
And so
they always say after 5 it gets a lot easier. Like, what was it I heard? Yeah. After 5 years, only 7% relapse.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. So we're doing pretty good.
Yeah, dude. And I just want to give positive vibes to everybody out there, see how far we've come. And 5 to 6 years. I never thought I would be here interviewing.
The thing is you don't realize I always tell people it's much harder to do what we're doing now.
Yeah.
To stay sober, to stay clean, because it's so much easier to go high.
Easy. And get comfortable.
And that's why so many people go back to prison, because they get out and they don't know how to live a regular life. But I'm telling you, put in the work. Like Pastor Kyle always says, give me 1 year. And that's, give me 1 year and do what you need to do. And I guarantee your life will change.
Yeah.
And the thing is, we say it all the time, people, places, things. You got to stay away from the people. You got to stay away from the places. You got to stay away from the things.
Absolutely.
That's your biggest thing. It's an old cliche, but it's 100% true.
100% true.
100%.
Anything's possible, especially with the Lord.
Absolutely.
All things are possible.
Get yourself around good people.
Absolutely.
Like in the 6.5 years, I've seen one bag of dirt.
Wow.
And that was because I was at a bar that's known for that.
Yeah.
You know why I haven't seen any? Because I know where it's at. I don't want to go around it.
Right. Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like because I don't know what I'll do.
Yeah.
Even though I'm 6.5 years clean, if I see it, who's to say I might not go and jump on it? I don't think I would. You know what I mean?
Right.
But
right. Absolutely.
that's just my mentality. Like,
yeah.
It's much easier to just not do it, not be around it.
Yeah. There's no need to put yourself in that situation. And people, same with people, right?
Yep.
Sometimes when you grow, not everybody can go.
Yeah, exactly.
If the hand got gangrene, you cut it off. You don't save the pinky because it meant well.
That's good.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. It's perfect. So true, man.
Yeah.
That's the thing. And that's what I see. That's how a lot of people, because I realized once I got arrested, especially once I got arrested, who my real friends were.
Oh, yeah.
Definitely wasn't the ones I was partying with.
No.
Don't get me wrong. There was a couple I'm still close with. But I had people reaching out, and I had ones that I thought were my close friends that were straight stabbing me in the back.
Yeah.
Talking. They used to be right beside me, blowing lines up their nose. All of a sudden, they're better than me. All of a sudden, I'm like, I'm talking close friends. That hurt.
Yeah.
That hurt a lot. But that's when I just realized, like, man. And I still honestly have trouble. Like me and Stace were just talking about this the other day. I still have trouble trusting people.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And that's why I love the church so much. But I don't have a whole lot of close guy friends, and because of the things I've been through. But I've also realized the ones I need to cut off. You have to write that down for me. So I can, the gangrene thing. That's perfect, man.
It is, man. You don't want to save the pinky just because they meant well.
Yeah, you have to cut those people out. And I still tell people this day, and I will say this, I've got a lot of them that I know still party. I still love them to death. I would still, if they called me right now and said, hey, I'm moving tomorrow, can you help me move some stuff? I'd be there for them. You know what I mean? Absolutely. But they're also respectful to me, and they're not offering.
Right.
They're not offering me to come into their parties, stuff like that. So.
Right. No, I completely feel that, man. That's true. You can't, you gotta distance yourself, and you gotta be, sometimes we gotta be uncomfortable for a little bit.
That's perfect.
To grow.
Yep. Absolutely. For a while.
Yeah.
For a while. Yeah. I'm still uncomfortable.
But I don't think that's ever going to change.
I don't either.
To grow, you're going to have to be uncomfortable regardless of the situation.
Yep.
Because we like comfort. It's easy to slip, just like you said, it's easy to slip right back into comfort. But when we grow, it takes them things of, certain things have to be pruned off, right?
Yeah. One of the things I say for people, like the best advice I can give them, and I went to drug court last spring. I try to pop in once a year. I'll even miss work because they have drug court on Fridays.
Okay.
And the judge will let me speak a little word, whatever. And I used to speak at schools and rehab centers and all that. But one thing I'll tell people is, like, especially when you're really struggling, go back to when you were a kid. What did you love to do? Or even when you were a young adult, what did you love to do? Did you love to write music? Did you love to write poetry? Start doing those things.
Yeah.
And like, you got to find different habits. You got to find different hobbies. Yeah. Like, I used to never be a structured dude until I met my therapist. And that's the first thing she put on. I used to love the spontaneity, just.
Yeah.
I'm like, hey, yeah, let's go, man. Let's do this. Now I'm so structured. It's weird. Like, I hate when people are late. Like my daughter and my girlfriend are always late. It drives me nuts. I get it. And I used to be that guy. You know what I mean? It's just those changes, man. It changes everything.
It's hard. I think we was talking about it at the beginning here with getting back in the routine. That's I'm the same way. I like to have structure. Yeah. But I got to say, God is a God of order.
Absolutely.
He likes order and structure too, man.
Yep.
And so we got to have it.
Yep.
And we got to be uncomfortable to get it sometimes, because discipline, there's, we don't always want to do the things we want to do. Right. Yeah. So
I saw a good video the other day talking about that. I wish I would have sent it to you, but it was, how difference in praying. Like a lot of people will pray, God, will you give me this? Will you give me that? Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And it just taught, it was like kind of the one voice was portraying God. And he was like, no, you're going to learn this way.
Yeah.
You're going to learn how to do it this way. And I was like, wow, that's powerful, man. And the one, just thinking about it, because me, when I pray, I thank him.
Yeah, absolutely.
When
yeah.
I get up, I think I wear this necklace because I put it on first thing in the morning. That way it reminds me to thank Jesus, and I take it off at night before I go to bed.
Awesome.
And that's just the way, that's just one of my routines. And that's some little small things I teach people.
No, I love that.
Because we get so busy. I was even telling myself today on the way here, I was like, man, I need to pray more. Like I'm not praying enough. I need to thank him for more of what I got.
Man, dude, Luke 14 talks about that. And it says, if you don't, and it's a hard verse, it's a very hard verse to read.
Yeah.
And to understand it, I'll give the breakdown, but it talks about, if you don't hate your mother, your father, your brother, your sister, yourself even, you too can't be a disciple of Christ.
Mm-hmm.
And what he means by that is sometimes it's harder for us to surrender our wants, our goals, our just dreams. The phone is one of the hardest things to surrender, right? And so he wants us to put him first.
Yep.
And so that's what he means by that.
Yeah.
If he's not first, then, you're not in order. You can't be his disciple either. He has to always come first.
Right.
And then he'll line everything up the way it should go.
Yeah.
And it brings me of another thing you said is when we pray for the desires, right, that we have. Now, the way I look at that is when we're in an intimate relationship with Christ, we know him, right? So we know his voice. We know him because we're in an intimate relationship.
Right.
And so when he says he'll give us the desires of our hearts, well, he says he will give us a heart of flesh, and I always say, Lord, show me your heart, not mine. And so when we ask and we're one with him, his desire is our desire.
That's good.
So he's going to give us what we desire because our desire is truly his desire.
Yep.
But we got to be intimate with him to get them desires.
Absolutely.
Yep. How much more would he do for us?
Right.
Right.
I always tell people I'm like, and I always feel, like I fall short because I don't feel like I'm ever good enough for him, for the way he sacrificed everything for us. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm always wanting more, and I'm like, man, but I still keep my, my mentality of the love and everything that he gives me. But I'm just like, for what he did for us, what am I doing? What am I doing for him?
Yeah.
It's just, I don't feel like I could ever do enough.
Oh man.
You know what I mean?
No, I feel that. But at the same time, that's where the enemy attacks us at, isn't that shame?
Yep. Yep.
To try to lock us down. Well, I'm not good enough.
Yeah.
But no, like you really are,
Right.
So, but I truly understand that. That's where the enemy attacks first.
Mentality things.
He attacks in the mind, man.
Yep.
He will.
Yep.
But we're wrapping up on an hour, man. It went quick.
Fly by.
Dude, that was dude, I can't believe it. Let's set up in our time and do this again.
Absolutely, man. I was going to tell you too, if you ever have a guest that you want me to sit in with you, I'd be down. I'd love it. Obviously, I like to talk. So.
No, that'd be great. That'd be great.
If you ever need help with somebody,
absolutely.
I appreciate you, man.
No, I appreciate you coming, man. It's been a blessing and an honor, man. A lot of good talk here.
Absolutely,
for sure.
Yep.
But I want to do it again. We're gonna run it back.
Okay.
But I appreciate you, man.
All right, brother.
Thank you.
Yeah.
God bless.
Yep. You too.